so we're going to fill out this color wheel. We have water, we have a palette, we have our primary colors, and we have a brush. The first thing you always want to do is clean your brush. So you go to the bottom of your bucket, bounce around on the bottom, kind of like you're painting, and what that does, if you can see on the camera there, it's wiggling all the paint loose out of there, and it's also conditioning the brush. And then pinch it. If it comes out clean, then you're probably good. If you want to, you can dab on the rag and make sure it's nice and dry, but not all the way dry. I'm going to start with red. And I don't need very much because it's just me up here. So I'm going to start with red, yellow. With yellow, you need a little bit extra at first because yellow is a very light color, so it tends to not go as far. Oops, probably more blue than I needed. Alright, so obviously the obvious is I got red there, right? I can just go ahead and scoop up some red. Now notice I'm not pushing the red all the way up the handle, it's just on the end of the brush. Then figure out where red goes and color nicely inside the shape. Alright. Neatness will go a long way here. When I go to grade this, I'll go, oh yeah, they did a good job. They didn't get outside the line, get all crazy and smear all over the place. That's why you need to keep your papers in your spot away from other people's stuff. Now, you can either put your name here, and we'll do that before we start painting, or we can put your name on the back and just hope that no paint gets on your name. Alright, so I've got red there, that's fine. Now, I'm going to prepare to mix some more, so I'm going to put some over here and put some of this red over here. I still have that just in case I need to add more to anything later. Notice how I'm twirling, trying to get as much paint off of the brush onto the paper here. Now I'm mixing with red. If I'm going with blue, I might need to have a little extra. I'm still not going all the way up the handle. There we go. Then clean the brush. Always clean the brush before you go get a new color. Now, whatever color I go, I can go ahead and put that on my paper, right? I'll just go ahead and do yellow, scoop some up, figure out where my yellow is. It's on the top on this one. So, color in the yellow. Now, why are we doing a color wheel? Because it's important for you guys to learn how the colors are mixed, and then we can talk about how they relate to each other. Alright, so same thing. I'm going to need some over here, but since blue is probably our darkest color, I'm going to have extra there to make the green with, and then put some over here to mix with that and make orange. Now, I think I got plenty. I don't need yellow anywhere else. Now, since I already have this set to the side, I can go ahead and start mixing that together. I'm trying to push all those colors into the middle. Now, what's interesting here is that you might get a darker or lighter color depending on how much of this paint you put on there. So you're going to have to look at it and go, is that green enough? I mean green enough. Is that orange enough? Or is it too red or too yellow? So which way is it going? So I'm going to put it there in the orange because I think it's a pretty in the middle orange. I must have done something right when I was measuring out my stuff. And if I'm happy with that is, I can look and go, yeah, I think that looks like it's pretty much in the middle. Now I can just try to squeeze some of this out of here, clean my brush, because now I need to get either one or the other. What I would suggest you do is do yellow first. Alright, so that is the lightest color, and only mix this side of it until you start seeing a good yellow-orange. I'm not mixing all of it because I don't want to go too strong. Yellow's, like I said, yellow's very light. So I'm going to take this one and put it here, and it should look like it's lighter. Oh, wrong place. I made a mistake. I stand corrected. Put it over here. Is that a big deal?
No.
No, it's paint. We can paint over that spot.
When it dries.
I don't even have to wait for it to dry. I'm going to go ahead and clean that brush, but look. I can take my rag and kind of make it pointy, or even my finger, and just kind of wipe that out of there, and that'll dry it quicker. And if you get a little red, no big deal. I'm not fretting over that. Now, clean my brush, check that it's clean, because now I need to get some red. I don't want to mess up this red for everybody else, right? So I'm going to mix on that side of it this time, And then if I need to, I can mix some of that in there. Now, if you go too dark with the red, you might not be able to tell that it's actually supposed to be a red orange. So I'm going to grab a little bit of that because I think I might have gone a little too strong with it. And now try it there. And if it looks like it's too dark, I could always add more of this, mix it on this side, and then maybe add a little more. All right, that's one of those things in art and mixing colors, you have to look and compare to other colors next to it. All right, so now I'm pretty much done with the oranges. I think I'm pretty happy with those. So I need to go to the other side of the equation here, which is our color wheel, and making these. So I'm going to go to this direction, red and blue. All right, so I haven't done any blue yet. Might as well go ahead and grab some blue and color in the blue section. And try to make it nice and spread out evenly. That'll dry the most evenly. Sometimes you get a real dark spot where a lot of extra paint is. I need a little bit of blue here. Not too much. Blue tends to be a darker color. And then a little bit of, you know, what's on my brush is probably enough to start mixing with the yellow and see what kind of green I get. So I'm trying to keep it in one spot. I'm not trying to spread out the big huge thing. I kind of got a little wild on that one. And it just depends on what size of brush you got and how much of this stuff you got. All right, so I'm trying to look at this. I think it's a little bit on the dark side. So, I mean, on the blue side, I should say. So it's looking a little dark, but I think it's okay. Once it dries, it might be okay. And that's the trick you have to figure out. Now, if you're using your own stuff at home and you're at your own palette, sure, you can go grab some more stuff over there. But guess what happens? All that is messed up now. If I wanted to get yellow for a different color, now it's got green in it, and if you're not careful, all that green that we mixed up might get into your oranges or whatever colors you're trying to make over here, or red, and you're going to get a brown that you didn't expect to happen. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put the green there, and then check it out and make sure it looks about right. I think it looks pretty good. So now I'm going to go ahead and add more yellow. I'm going to go ahead and clean the brush like you're supposed to. This was just an example of what not to do. But if you had your own stuff, I don't see why you couldn't. It's just that you're sharing so much stuff with your friends there that I need you to try to be mindful of what you're doing. Now, if you run out of space here because everybody's mixing stuff, no big deal. You can go ahead and mix on the table. Just like we did last year with the watercolors, you should be able to mix on the table with these. It's washable. I even mix sometimes with the acrylic paints, even though I don't like to, because if it does dry, it's harder to take off, because acrylic paint is kind of basically waterproof once you get it on something. All right, so now a little blue over here in this little area here. Now I had too much yellow there the first time. Let's try that. I like that. Now sometimes it's not completely mixed on your brush, so you gotta be careful with that. Use the same side. That's why I said spread it out nicely, but try to stay inside the trapezoid shape there. All right, so now I got these colors, and that's gonna be all in here. Go ahead and clean your brush. You do not want to have green mixing with your violet. You're gonna get a little weird brown color there going on. All right, so I can go ahead and just start mixing those probably. Push those colors into the middle and mix them up good. And that should be right here where the violet is. But to me, it's looking a little on the blue side. So I'm going to squeeze some of that out of there. Yes. See if I can sneak some of this red in there. I don't think I have enough red. So I'm going to go ahead, mix it really carefully over there. See, that's a better purple I see already, which means I did not do this correctly, which is okay. And I'm going to put that in the violet. So that means that side is more of a blue violet. Clean that brush real quick. Get a little bit of blue. I don't think I need too much more in that blue area there. And you don't want it to look like it's too blue You do want it to make it look like it's, oh, wrong side again. That's because I usually do my color wheels going the other way. Alright, so it should look like it's got some purple in it. So I think I need to add a little more to there. Alright, that's not bad. Now, like I said, you can always clean that off. Just leaving a little bit behind is not going to hurt. And that's where you start getting those smears and stuff. But as long as you do the color right for the next part, you should be alright. Now, I got a little bit of red here, but I might need to add more red from the bottle. Obviously, I don't want to go there. That's orange. So pay attention to what you're doing. That's still too purpley. But I'm going to go ahead and leave this on here because it's getting there, because the blue is showing through. That means I need to go ahead and call on myself to get more paint. All right, so that should be looking okay. Once that dries, you'll really know how well you did. Clean your brush. When you're done, give it back to the oval, and then we'll clean up when we're all done.